is a past life reading for Albertine. So, as I was retrieving this kind of different code name, this isn't the type of code name that I usually receive. It's normally some kind of message or speaking something over the person, or it just adds to the reading in some way. Even if I don't understand it at the beginning, it ends up making sense later. In this case, it ended up being a last name of somebody that you have been before. And I made my sacred space in the room. That's how I always begin. And then I surround myself in positive energy just through visualization. And then I visualize whoever I'm reading surrounded in positive energy as well. And I normally use crystals to do that, or I use statues to do that, just to, it's visualization I'm using, but I just sort of add energies with various crystals, as this helps to release different blocks and things. And also I tend to find that since crystals, it's like they can locate blocks. They are very conscious, they are very aware, and so they almost sort of seem to scan the person. As I'm surrounding the person in positive energy, the crystal will be bumping into blocks. And that is kind of helpful also for me. I don't have to bump into the blocks as much. The crystal more will do that on my behalf and kind of absorb some of that energy, and it just helps with the protection for the reading on both sides. So as I started with my tiger jasper here, and tiger jasper, it is very grounding. And so it definitely can be very path related as well and help with disorientation. And you you had a lot of blocks coming up in your feet, and I know that you had said something about, you know, your eczema, and that was one of your questions, but I still wasn't expecting such a tremendous block to come up in the feet, just because even though you have this eczema, you still just seem relatively clear to me, you know, on a spiritual level. But then, so at first glance, yeah, it seemed like you would be relatively clear. But then, but also I feel like it doesn't even mean that you're like severely blocked. Now, there are definitely some major blocks coming up in the area, but still overall, I think sometimes the reason that it might feel at first glance like a person isn't really that blocked, and then there end up being really significant blocks, is because your guides sort of, it's like they want to show them, you know, they want me to see them during a reading. They want to show them to me because that's really what they want to clear, and that's really what they want to talk about. And obviously there is some kind of block going back into this past lifetime with this name, Albertine. And then the second crystal I used was my green fluorite, and I had to use a second crystal. I had to do the process again for the reason that I didn't know what this meant. I'm like, okay, at first it wasn't coming in Albertine, it was coming in Albertine, and I'm going, what is Albertine? And so at first I didn't know, you know, maybe I need to try and retrieve this a little bit more, but it kept coming in, so I looked up that name, and there was no Albertine but there was Albertine, Scotland. But then your guides keep showing me, no, Italy, 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 Italy. And I'm going, okay, so I'm looking at Albertine, Italy. There's no Albertine, Italy. And then finally there's an Albertine. No. Then finally they popped in my head Albertine with a T. And I'm going, oh, okay, Albertine. So I look up Albertine, Italy. And then there's coming up this last name, Albertino. And I'm going, okay, there's still no Albertine. And then I end up clicking into something that basically shows that when you're saying Albertine, like there was a statue it was naming, it was calling it the Albertine statue, but in Italian, it was Albertino. It wasn't Albertine. So they're coming in with more, I guess, the English version with me. I guess that would make sense. And it's coming in Albertine, but in Italian, it's Albertino, and it's a last name. It's like I said, I didn't know what it was at the beginning. I'm going, what is this? Is it a name? Is it a place? Could have been anything. So, and then again, this was coming in too, and they keep sending in Rome, and they keep sending in almost like somewhere near Rome, and it feels like somewhere near present Rome. And the weird thing with this too is that I don't know if you ever have stomach issues, because you're not really bringing that up. You're only talking about the eczema. But I can tell you that with this block here, if it hasn't manifested in other areas, I'd be almost surprised if you haven't had some on and off problems with other things, even if it's especially prominently showing up in the feet, because I was feeling everything. I was feeling my arms, I was feeling especially my stomach. Um, Almost like nausea or something, and I was getting pain in my feet, but I was feeling a lot of areas, and then this just general sort of heaviness. So blocks can definitely manifest in different ways. And there are really these energies with this, like there's a very emotional energy with it, almost like a disturbing emotion is what it feels like with this energy, with this blocked energy. Like it doesn't feel like a really all experiences are neutral in a sense, but still I'm going to say this does not feel like a positive experience, what we would interpret as something positive. It really does not feel that way. It feels like something really disturbing. And there's this image over and over of the feet and like some kind of laceration with the feet, like cuts, um, almost like almost like some form of like torture or something like this. Like it could be like you're stepping on something. Either it's you're stepping on something, or somebody is cutting your feet with something, is what this image seems like. So I'm just going to take a couple minutes here and connect and see what this is. Okay, but yeah, so this is the last name, Albertine, or really Albertino would be the genuine last name. So they're sending me this feeling like you're living this good life, things are fine, and suddenly something happens. It feels like some kind of attack or something. Because they're showing me almost like a bear, but it doesn't feel like um, I feel like that's just their way of saying this was some form of attack. It doesn't feel like it was an animal or a bear or something. It doesn't feel that way. It feels human, is what it feels like. It feels human. And whatever this was, you weren't expecting it. It was totally unexpected. You were not thinking that this was going to happen, whatever it was. So it was a shock. That's really the energy of this. There's this mental shock and trauma also just from the fact that it is a shock, that it's so shocking to you, unexpected to you, and people around you as well, family, friends, they're not expecting this. And they keep showing me, this is all kind of coming in pieces. They keep showing me, and actually when something is really, really blocked, it makes sense that it could come in that way, in pieces as it comes through and sort of being sorted out. And also just because there's so many like energies with this. But ultimately, obviously, your guides are in control of however it's coming in. So they're directing all these pieces. But they're showing me, they keep showing me a forest, like a really, really deep, thick, rich forest, like a very deep forest. Just a lot of trees, a lot of nature. And this feels like a long time ago. Okay, this feels like maybe 1400s, like around there. That keeps popping in. So this would be like getting close to like the Middle Ages, like around in there, like Dark Ages, Middle Ages. This word just keeps coming in, unexpected, unexpected. It's not something that you would think would happen. Nobody would think of it happening to them. It's not a natural death. It's a very unnatural death. Okay, there's sending this feeling like you have a family. I feel like you have um okay, you have a brother, you have a son, you have a wife. You all kind of live close to each other, like the brother lives close to you. There's a sister energy, but that could even be the sister-in-law. Okay, no, there is a sister, but you do have a sister-in-law as well. There's a mother energy. You feel like you're maybe like 40, something like that. Maybe slightly younger, 38, 39, 40. I'm going to say this feels like between 37 and 41. That's the age that I would put you at with this feeling. And you live somewhere in the woods. That's what it feels like. So in some ways, it almost makes sense that it would be an animal. Okay. But again, they're saying that this doesn't make sense. It's not something that makes sense. Random. Okay, there's a feeling like nobody's with you. You're alone. Whenever this happens, this mysterious event, I'm going to call it, since we don't know what it is yet. I feel like part of the reason there's this energy in my stomach is actually because it's like your emotion just drops. And you tend to feel that in the gut, you tend to feel that in the stomach. And that would probably even be why there's almost this nauseous feeling. And I'm they're showing me like you're like vomiting. You're getting really sick. But it's because of this emotion that you have. You feel this emotion. So it's not from a physical thing, it's from you feeling this emotion. Okay. So I'm asking what happened, but I almost get a feeling like they still want to talk more about who you were like in the lifetime. So they're kind of almost going back and forth. It's like you before this and this. So I'll just let it come in however they want to send it. Hmm. What? Yeah, that makes no sense. Okay, so maybe that is what happened. Okay. hell? Okay, I gotta check if this is actually accurate before I say this, because it just makes no sense at all. Okay. Okay, so that's where the animal comes in, then. That's where that animal energy comes in. How odd. Okay. Never ever thought I would ever get anything like that, but they keep saying, yeah, that's what happened, and they're right. That is completely unexpected and completely makes no sense at all. They keep showing me some kind of net or like some kind of trap, and you're alone, and you're out in this deep forest, and I get the feeling like it's not like there's like a lot of people around, which is part of the reason that this would be unexpected. I mean, you pretty much know everybody who lives around you. Um, and this isn't exactly like an attack though, but there is almost this feeling like an attack. Okay, but it's like you step on something and you're stepping on some kind of like trap. And this is somebody set this to catch something, um, but not you. It's not like somebody set this to catch you, but somebody set this trap to catch some kind of animal and it catches you, but nobody's coming. And there's like a wave of emotion with that. Nobody's coming. Okay. And I feel like that's really what makes your stomach turn. It's not so much, it isn't the feet. It's not the feet. Like you've stepped on something and you have like you have like something in your feet, almost like spikes or something. And there are these lacerations in the feet. There's this like wounds in the feet. But then like your stomach is just churning, but this is later on. It's not because of the feet. It's not like you step on this thing and you feel this agony and you vomit. It's you have this emotion like nobody's coming. There is also a fear. There's a fear like something can attack you. And they're showing me like it's getting late, it's getting dark. Nobody's coming. Like nobody is coming for you. And you're thinking somebody has to come for this trap. Somebody has to come and realize, okay, I caught a human, you know. Like it's not funny, but I'm just like laughing because it's just so like out of this world. Like okay. I feel like you're like stuck there. You're like stuck there for days. Like not like that long. Like I feel like this person set this trap and they were going to set it there for like maybe a week. And you kind of, it's like when this thing caught you, it feels like it's early on. It's not like the sixth day or something, and the guy is just going to come back. It's like the first day or the second day. So you have a while to just sit there and just die from dehydration and these wounds that you have, and you're not receiving any kind of medical care, and these, whatever it is, it's still stuck on your feet. I don't know if there's like a like rope or a net or something, if you're like actually caught in something. I can't make out exactly what this is. But what I know for sure is that there's something that you've stepped on and you have wounds like in your feet. And maybe you just feel really trapped. And so it almost feels like your whole body is trapped. It could be either. It could just be this feeling where it just feels like you're trapped. So it almost feels like your whole body is trapped. Or it could be that you're caught in some actual kind of like net or something. And this would explain why I keep seeing the feet over and over, but then I'm like feeling my whole body, like I'm feeling my arms in like the weirdest way. Almost like my arms, like there was like such a heavy energy, almost like my arms almost just don't want to move. And this energy just kind of goes up. But I feel like you hunt animals, and that's like how you feed your family, um and I feel like you're in like an unheard of area, like kind of distant and isolated to begin with. And people would only go there for something like hunting, or even if they had some long journey or something that like, and they had to get to a certain area. It's like highly unlikely that they would go through this forest, this thick forest. They would go like around it, or they would take some path or something. Or if there's no path, they would at least not go through there. They would go through land that was more cleared out. And I feel like you know the forest. And there aren't really a lot of people there, so you're not really expecting it. It almost feels like some like it almost feels like some like newcomer or something. Or is it that you are, or is this something that he's wondering? No, it almost feels like this is like a new person, somebody that you haven't met before. but it almost feels like they're living like if you're living over here on this side of the forest or whatever, and somebody else is living over here, you might not even meet them necessarily, especially if they haven't been there for that long, if they've been there for like 6 months or a year or something. If they haven't really lived there for that long, if some hunter just is moving there, you won't even necessarily know that a newcomer has even lived there. Okay. Okay, and this guy finds you. This person finds you. And I feel like he's wrapping you up, and he feels very bad. He feels really bad. And he didn't know that that was going to happen. You know, obviously. So this wasn't his fault. And this isn't an actual attack, but it just feels that way to you. For the reason that it was like abrupt, you know. It feels like something is attacking you. Almost like if some bear or something were to just come out and maul you, you know, because it's such a shock and it's sudden and makes no sense and just incredibly unexpected. Okay, so our half hour is up. So I'm just checking if there's anything else that they want to say really quick. Okay, no, they don't have anything else that they want to say for this reading. So in the second reading, we'll, you know, answer any other questions that you have. Okay, so thank you very much, Albertine, for allowing me to do this past life reading for you, and I truly hope that it benefits you. Namaste.